I know we have to add obedience training in. I know we have to be firm on this dog. I know we need to use the e-collar. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, well, I'm going the opposite direction. We need to do a force-free approach with him or anything like that. Obviously, that's not the case. But at the same time, what you've been trying to do so far isn't working. So let's stop doing everything. Let's see who the dog is at their core, and then let's figure out where we need to add some of this shit back into it. What's up, guys? David with Miracle Canine. We're out here with Tank. Tank's a brand new board and train. He's been here since Friday or something. I think he's been here for like 4 days. And Tank is here for typical Rottweiler bullshit, which means lots of dog reactivity, lots of not like horrendously malicious resource guarding, but resource guarding nonetheless. And lots of when he gets really aroused and starts reacting towards things, lots of redirecting towards his owner. So honestly, anybody that works with Rottweilers knows this is pretty par for the course for them. So Tank has done some training with, I believe, a couple other trainers before, as we see with a lot of these guys. And it's been, just like we were talking about with Teddy, it's been very traditional dog training, right? So heel, sit, down, place, come, right? Constant control, constant managing with control, right? And with a dog like him who has this like combative nature to him, again, just like with Teddy, he's very trained. He listens, he does his thing, but you're creating this time bomb of energy. We're finding this dog is putting himself in positions where, because he has no outlets for his drives, and because we're constantly trying to get him to bottle in all this arousal, he's just like doing it until he can't do it anymore, and then just absolutely exploding that energy out towards things. So just like with Teddy, we're going to film a lot of his process here, where we're going to be doing things a lot differently because he already has the training under his belt. Obviously, we're going to have to tackle the reactivity head on. We did take him to the park yesterday, which we were going to film, but then Paige's mics weren't working, so we didn't get to film it. Bummer. Bummer. But we assessed the reactivity, if you will. So I wanted to take the healing and stuff and throw it out the window. I know this dog can heal. I wanted to take him to the park and just see, like, when he was free to make decisions, like on a flexi, what did he do when he saw dogs? What did he do when he saw people? And we saw very, honestly, minor reactions in the grand scheme of things. He reacted at one person walking by, but was very easy to manage him with just kind of pulling him away with the leash. With the dogs, he would kind of lock onto them, but when I didn't try to interrupt it, honestly, he lost interest very quickly, and he was very easy to redirect onto something like a ball. So that tells me his reactivity inherently really isn't that bad. He really is just put in this position where he's just containing all of his emotion constantly, right? So our program with him is going to be focused on giving him a lot of outlets for his drive, right? So he's really into the ball. I've got him on a 100-foot long line here out in a big field, giving him plenty of abilities to let out that stress, right? And let out that arousal and let out all that energy that he's got, so that when I am asking him to contain it, and when I do need to inevitably crack down on that reactivity and say, hey, you cannot do this, it's a bit more fair for him. I'm not adding as much conflict into the equation, and we'll see what we get. So what I'm gonna do here to start, I'm just gonna play ball with him a little bit on this line. I'm kind of letting him hang out. And then what we'll do is we're gonna progress to doing some walking with him, doing some recalls with him, and just kind of do a bit more of an assessment of where his obedience training is at. Right? Now, this is a little different with Teddy. With Teddy, I didn't ask him to do anything for the first 2 weeks of his program. That's something we talked about in the videos that we did with him. And the reason for that is because Teddy had the similar type of training, but Teddy was very suppressed, right? Teddy had a lot of like fear issues. Teddy had a lot of suppression issues. Teddy had a lot of anxiety issues, and Teddy was scared to go off and do things, basically, right? So I wanted to get him to truly loosen up, where Tank, on the other hand here, he's not scared to do anything, right? This dog is happy to go off and be an asshole and fuck around and stuff like that, right? So I need to give the outlets for him still, but I don't have to worry about like squashing all of his drive or anything. So I am going to be a little harder on him throughout this process than I would with a dog like Teddy. Tank. Tank. Okay. Good job. So you see, typical Rottweiler, tons of energy, bouncy, playful, happy. Like, he really is a pretty good dog. Like, he hasn't given us too much of a hard time in the 4 days that he's been here. It's just you got to balance out that training sometimes with those outlets, you know? And then you got to know when you do need to crack down on the dog, how do I do it in a way where he's actually going to be receptive to the things that I'm asking him to do or asking him not to do? Tank, come on. A lot of the videos that I've been doing with dogs lately, you guys have been seeing, I'm focused a lot more on, at the start of the program, stopping doing all of the things that we've tried to do so far because historically they just haven't worked, right? So in this dog's case, his owners have tried doing, right, firm obedience training with this dog. And that in and of itself, Tank, come on. That in and of itself hasn't done jack shit, right? So I know we have to add obedience training in. I know we have to be firm on this dog. I know we need to use the e-collar. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, well, I'm going the opposite direction. We need to do a force-free approach with him or anything like that. Obviously, that's not the case. But at the same time, what you've been trying to do so far isn't working. So let's stop doing everything. Let's see who the dog is at their core. Tank. It's over there. And then let's figure out where we need to add some of this shit back into it. Again, that's what we did with Teddy, and that's why you guys have seen how much he's been able to flourish so far. Go. Even you'll see, like, I'm not even adding in a drop yet into this, right? Like, I will, like, obviously if he continues to possess the ball, I'm gonna add the drop into it, but I'm just taking away everything. Like, let's just see who you are. Tank, come on. And clearly over there, he's distracted by, there's a dog barking out that way, right? Again, he's a dog reactive dog. These are things that he's had issues with. Not worried about that yet, right? Getting back to eliminate everything initially, add things back in where you need it, right? So obviously playing with him, hanging out with him. So far, he hasn't been so bad about possessing this ball. He's kind of just dropping it on his own where, like, I'm not worried about the drop right now. You know what I mean? I'm not going to work drop for the sake of working drop. We're in a brand new location with him. He's only so into the ball. Like, clearly right there, like, he just pooped, right? And he's just distracted right now, sniffing around, hanging out. He's distracted by the dog over there. He's only so interested in the ball, where if I start working this drop right now, I'm going to squash all his drive for the ball. And it's like, I'm not worried. Like, this is not something I need to tackle right at this exact moment, right? But he is pretty distracted, right? He keeps wandering over that way towards the dog barking in the backyard there, right? And right now, let's say this leash wasn't on him. If I were just trying to enjoy my life with Tank, which is what I'm trying to do right now, and this leash wasn't on him, I do need to know that his recall is going to be pretty rock solid, right? He is, like I said, fairly distracted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to work exclusively recalls in this location because that's all I need, right? I don't need a downstay. I don't need to bring a place cod out here and have him start doing that. I need to make sure as I'm giving him this freedom in a big open field, which is one of the privileges we want our dogs to have, that if I need to, that he's gonna come back when I ask him to. Now, another thing, I'm not gonna work 5,000 repetitions of this. I'm gonna work as many as I need to as he gets distracted by stuff, just to triple check that as I'm giving you this freedom, you can keep one ear turned to me. So we're just gonna walk around here. And once I do feel he is sufficiently distracted, I'm going to give a come command, and I'm going to see how responsive he is with it. Tank, come. No. Come. And as you can see, very lackadaisical, is that the right word? Right? Very loose, very much, I don't really feel like coming. I'd rather go sniff around over there. I'd rather go hang out. Who are you? You've never asked me to do things before. So I got an opportunity to give a correction for it. Okay, tank, tank. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let him hang out for a while again. I'm not gonna jump right back into another recall. We're gonna wander around, and then whenever I feel I need to do another recall, I will then do another recall. But as you progress to this stage in training, where the dog knows the commands, right? There's no massive issues that you're having with any type of obedience or anything like that. Or not, I shouldn't say that. No, once you're at a place where the dog knows what they should be doing, they've trained the recall looks pretty good, you use it where you need to use it, right? Let's say I gave that one recall, he didn't listen, I gave a correction for it, and then he listened, and then he stayed a little extra glued to me for the rest of this session. I may not do a single other one, because I know that sole recall I worked right there, I sent a message to him, I got a point across, and he's like, all right, I got it. Tank. Good job, buddy. Tank. Okay. Good job, buddy. Tank. Okay. Okay. Good. Drop. Good. So as you guys could see, getting back to working what I need to work, he's starting to get, I don't want to say possessive. I don't think he's getting possessive over the ball here, right? But he is starting to get slower and slower on just dropping it organically on his own. I do want to continue the game with him. Tank, come on. Okay. So where I need to, I will incorporate a drop command. Like right there, I gave him a drop. I didn't even need to correct for it. If I did, I would have, obviously. So I'm going to use that command where I need to use it. Good job, buddy. Tank. Okay. Drop. Good job, bud. Okay. Tank. And we got him pooped.